Welcome. Hi, my name is Robin Foreman, and it is my great privilege to serve as Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs and Provost of Tulane University, and I am here to welcome you to the first annual State of Tulane event. And I must admit, I'm always very impressed with the ambition and confidence exhibited when you call something the first annual, so I'm particularly excited to be part of this. So it's wonderful to have this opportunity to gather together Tulane faculty and staff, in many cases greeting each other after a summer apart, as we prepare for our campus to explode with life and energy with the arrival of thousands of graduate and undergraduate students in an annual renewal ritual, both joyful and completely overwhelming, that has taken place here at Tulane in some form or another for 183 years. So welcome to all of you, faculty and staff, uptown and downtown, and this is also being broadcast simultaneously at the Primate Center and our campus in Mississippi. So especially for those of you who are watching this by simulcast, who I'm afraid right now are being faced with a close-up of me, I want to point out that I am joined on stage by the rest of the President's Cabinet. And so I'll just introduce them, and if you could just give a little wave. In alphabetical order, we have Satya Dattagupta, VP for Enrollment Management, Troy Dannon, Athletic Director, Lee Ham, Senior Vice President and Dean of Medicine, Tori Johnson, General Counsel, Rick Matasar, Senior Vice President of Strategic Initiatives and Institutional Effectiveness, Charlie McMahon, Chief Technology Officer, Patrick Norton, Senior Vice President and Chief Operating Officer, Dusty Porter, Vice President of Student Affairs, Jeannie Wise, Senior Vice President for Advancement, and Tanya Tetlow, Senior Vice President and Chief of Staff. And with that, it is my great privilege to introduce our main speaker. And I'm not going to read from his CV. Let me just say instead that those of you who have had the opportunity to talk to or hear from him already know that President Fitz has a tremendous passion for higher education in general, and a great love of Tulane in particular, a deep and infectious sense of ambition for the institution, and a sense of what's possible here that cannot help but energize and inspire. So it is a great honor to introduce the 15th president of Tulane University, President Mike Fitz.
So, hello everyone, and welcome. And I want to thank Robin in particular. As you know, he's been here for a year, a few days away from a year, first full year as provost, and it has been an extraordinary year. And I can't thank Robin enough for everything he has done, you have done, to make Tulane University second to none. So let's have a round of applause for the provost. So as I'll soon discuss, we're at a truly pivotal moment in Tulane's 183-year history. Without spoiling all the details, our 2017 Princeton Review rankings should give you an idea of where we are. Tulane students voted us #1 college city in the country, #1 school for community engagement, #4 in happiest students, #9 in quality of life, and this is a good one. Of 382 universities polled, we were ranked 7th in the country for students who love their college. And while we may be rather frustrated that our students paid us the honor of voting us the party school in the United States, I also want to note the ranking that we really can embrace. They voted us #4th best run university in the country out of 382 universities. So let's give ourselves, you, a round of applause. With apologies to Sally Field, they like us. They really like us. Tulane has never looked better, and that is a direct output of your hard work and passion. Tulane is an amazing place because you make it so. And starting now, I've decided that we're going to do a better job of highlighting the folks that best represent this incredible community. Today, I'm proud to announce the launch of the Tulane Spirit Awards, our new way of recognizing members of the Tulane family that go above and beyond in exemplifying what it means to be a Tulanean. This award is for the colleague who brought in the first king cake at Mardi Gras season, or the one who's covered head to toe in green for every single home game. And it's for the colleague who treats their coworkers like family, bending over backwards when anyone is in need. We'll be sending out a nomination process going forward, but I want to start us off by recognizing the very first recipient of the Tulane Spirit Award. I think we all know this individual very well. In fact, it's hard not to know him, a factor of both his unflappable enthusiasm for all things Tulane, as well as his marvelous collection of hats, both figurative and literal. He's been with Tulane since 2006 and has worn a number of hats in his time here, from career services to student employment, academic advising to teaching TIDES courses, all in his nearly 12 years at Tulane. And though his role has often changed, his importance has not. Since day one, he's been a well of inspiration and leadership. One of his many ideas was to recognize the contribution of others through a Tulane Spirit Award, though I know he'll be embarrassed to be the first recipient of that award. With that, I feel that it's only fitting that our own Amjad Ayubi is the very first winner of the Tulane Spirit Award. Amjad? Could Amjad come up to the stage? I guess Amjad is not here. Well, he's probably out at Yeoman getting ready for the game. He's probably so excited. So this is this is literally what we will be giving out, and it has Amjad's name written on it. So again, in absentia, let's give him a round of applause. I think you'd all agree the Tulane Spirit Award isn't the kind of recognition that can only be given out once a year. That's why tomorrow I'll send out an email with a link to my website where you can submit nominations for the Tulane Spirit Award all year round. I have to say, there's so many balloons, I think he's going to fly off into the air. Anyway, thank you, Amjad. Literally, you honor us by being able to honor you. Now we turn to the main reason we've come together, for you to hear how we're doing and where we're going. In the last 3 years, I've learned a great deal from all of you. I learned that everybody looks good in green. I've learned never to make light of the weather because it will change in an instant. I've learned to turn off all the lights when the termites are swarming. I learned to stop and take in moments of joy, like seeing the campus come alive again after a long, hot summer, as we've just seen now. And most of all, I've learned to love this university and the people who make everything happen. I've gathered us all together today because we have an amazing amount of good news to share, the collective accomplishments that all of you have helped make happen. And sometimes it's the good news that takes a lot longer to spread. I want to personally thank you for the part that each and every one of you has played in creating that good news and pushing us all forward. For 183 years, Tulane has grappled with crises and helped solve the problems of the world. We were founded by doctors trying to cure yellow fever because thousands of people were dying in the streets. For almost 2 centuries, we've been building a better community, and we've done this through the sheer determination of people like you. When I arrived here, I quickly learned a Tulane mantra. You know it, doing more with less. That means accomplishing remarkable things, even though we have the fraction of the endowment of some of our wealthier peers. It means doing more with fewer resources through creativity and hard work. But here's the thing. What I want most to accomplish for Tulane, let's find out how much we can accomplish with more. I want us to double down on ambition. I want us to find the resources and raise the money we need to accomplishing everything we dream of. I want our faculty to do their extraordinary teaching in beautiful high-tech classrooms with all of the support they need. I want our staff to take pride in everything that they do. I want our students to learn in every aspect of their experience here, out in the community and in the labs, in coursework that cuts across disciplines, and in residence halls centered around intellectual themes. I want Tulane to create even more cutting-edge research that solves the problems of the world, from curing disease to reducing the education gap. But not only that, I want us to expand our understanding of humanity through literature, art, and architecture. I want us to expand our expectations of each other through law, political science, and in business. And to learn how to take care of each other through public health and social work. Each and every one of you, whether you tend to our beautiful quads or keep the accounts that help us function, you are essential to our shared mission. I think there's never been a moment in Tulane's history when it's been better positioned to launch to these heights. And there is a reason for that. Together, all of us have made sacrifices to get our fiscal house in order. We have thought creatively and pushed through the forces of inertia with a can-do attitude. We've tackled some of our understandable fear of the unknown and launched ourselves into the future. Today, I want to tell you where all of that hard work has gotten us and where we can go. I'm happy to announce that this year we balanced the budget. For the first time in many years, we did not need to rely on the line of credit. We will finally be able to tackle deferred maintenance and take better care of those classrooms and labs. Most of all, we are quickly working toward investing in more meaningful support for all of you, who are the lifeblood of this university. And I have an announcement here. Today. For the first time, starting October 1st, Tulane will offer parental leave to our staff. That will be 4 paid weeks after the birth or adoption of a child. we work so hard together to put ourselves on a sounder financial footing so that we can pursue all of our dreams together. We've also tackled some other challenges. First, we needed the world to understand how extraordinary we are. We needed to transition from the post-Katrina branding that worked so well for a decade and create a message that would launch us into a better future. And also, we needed to discover the right balance of embracing the richness of New Orleans without the party school label that could diminish all that we worked so hard to achieve. We need to focus on our excellence. And that begins with our admissions branding to help us attract better and brighter students who will raise our profile while we support their success. Satya Dattagupta and the entire admissions team have made that transition, using social media in ways that, as an old guy, I don't even understand, and instituting early decision to build momentum. The results have simply been astonishing. Applications this year are up by double digits. The average SAT score has jumped 48 points in the last 3 years, and it's now a whopping 1449 for this incoming class. And what I'm most proud of, though, we still have a long way to go. We've made real progress on diversity, raising the percentage of the students of color to 22% and tripling the number of international students. Partly as a result of these accomplishments and our focus on retention, our U.S. News ranking has shot up from 54th to 39th in 3 years, more than any other school in the top 100. Now, we all love to hate rankings, especially when we're not doing well, but we have no choice to pay attention to them. They can create a cycle of success, attracting even better students and moving us further ahead. And they help more than just our undergraduate schools. They also build the university's reputation across our graduate and professional programs. Second, we focused more on our academic mission, investing in capital projects like the extraordinary Goldring-Waldenberg expansion. Now, let me say, for all of you who work in or near the business school, thank you for your patience. We are merging academic and career advising in the dynamic Mustapher Hall, serving students in a far more holistic way to plan their futures to be successful. We will dismantle the silos that keep us from working and teaching across fields. Most of all, we're investing strategically in our research strengths in ways that increased our grant funding last year by 35% to $160 million. The Burnick faculty grants, which were just launched to support faculty in the sort of the beginning stages of their research, provide $1 million a year to support faculty in every school from liberal arts to medicine. We've been raising money for presidential chairs to attract the kind of rock stars who will raise our profile and help launch our junior faculty in their careers. And we've invested in our research strengths because it's part of the mission of a great university to solve problems of the world. How do we balance the need for energy to fuel our economies with the protection of the environment? How do we solve the mysteries of the brain and protect it from injury and disease? How do we create early warning system for the infectious diseases that threaten humanity? How do we cure Ebola and Zika? And how do we protect our sinking coastlines from rising sea levels? In fact, the entire existence of this region depends on our finding the answer to that question. And so we have built the River and Coastal Center on the banks of the Mississippi to house the Bywater Institute. From investing in the Priman Center to launching the Brain Institute, we brought ourselves together across schools and disciplines to focus Tulane where we can make the most difference in the world. Because all of you support the mission of the university, you are all a part of how we make the world a better place. For every scientist in a lab, for every economist with a whiteboard, there are hundreds of you making that work possible. The assistants who help process grant applications, the technology workers who keep the supercomputers, and the facilities people who keep the labs clean. We are in this together. And our success builds more success. Together, when we trumpet our vision of the university and its possibility, we engage our alumni and we inspire our donors. Thanks to Ginny Wise and her incredibly hardworking development team, we've been able to persuade more and more of our supporters to step up to the plate and invest in the future of the university, to make us their priority, to show us how much they believe in the work that all of you do. I'm really thrilled, as a result, to tell you that this year, as we approach the public launch of our campaign, we set a new fundraising record for Tulane, raising over $126 million for the campaign. I can't describe to you how many countless hours went into that number for our advancement team and how grateful they are in return to the rest of you for giving them so much to brag about to donors. So it's thanks to all of you, this is what we get to tell our alums, that we have leapt in the rankings more than any other school. That interest in Tulane is skyrocketing. We will welcome the most accomplished and diverse class in our history, that we jumped in federal research funding more than ever before, that we balanced our budget, and that we had the best fundraising year in Tulane history. And we say, it just doesn't get better than that. And I think we all ought to take great pleasure in all of these accomplishments because you are responsible for them. Now, I could talk endlessly about why we have all this good news, but it comes down to one thing. There is a special magic here at Tulane. I've been in a number of universities across the country, and the spirit that I've seen here, I haven't seen anywhere else. And I could just try to describe it for you, but I think it's best expressed by telling you my favorite story, something that happened last spring and that I haven't been able to stop bragging about since. Last year, NASA had a real-life problem they needed to solve: how to bring more cargo up into space. They decided to kick the problem to universities and to hold a big idea contest to see if students might be able to help. Most of the competing teams from around the nation came, not surprisingly, from the top aerospace programs in the country. But as you may know, Tulane does not have an aerospace program. But that didn't stop our students. A group of them met at our new makerspace, where they bonded over their love of problem solving, 3D printers, and general geekiness. They decided to form a team. They were engineering students, but there were also majors in physics, in economics, and in architecture. They were a remarkable group, but in this contest, I have to say, they were more bad news bears than the New York Yankees. No one was more shocked than they were to make it to the final round. They watched the other finalists present variations of a traditional NASA contest. You know what I'm talking about. A satellite with rectangular flaps that fold out when it makes it into space. Then it was Tulane's turn. Our students had to design something entirely unique. Like Pringles, they loaded a bunch of hexagons into a tube that could be projected into space. Go up like this in the hexagons. Once it got there, the hexagons would unfold outward like a flower exposing solar panels to the sun for fuel. When they presented it, and after they presented it, you could hear a pin drop. The judges had never seen anything like it. The students told me they knew they were either going to come in first place or, most likely, dead last. But of course, why would I be telling you this story if they'd come in last? They took the grand prize, beating out all the aerospace programs across the country. It was an unbelievable underdog story. But at Tulane, this kind of thing happens all the time, because here we connect with each other across fields. We gather strength by surrounding ourselves with people who think differently than we do. As our own Walter Isaacson put it, the future of innovation will come, and I quote, from people who are able to link beauty to engineering, humanity to technology, and poetry to processors. And not only that, Tulane has the kind of gumption it takes to compete with the best and the brightest, to take on the top aerospace programs when you've never even had an aerospace engineering class. That kind of chutzpah is hugely important even when you don't win. But after 3 years with you, here's what I've really learned. I think we need to start getting used to winning, even when we're not supposed to. Those of you who were Saints fans for decades before 2009 know exactly what I'm talking about, because there is nothing we cannot do together when we put our minds to it. So thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all for your hard work, for your passion, your vision, and for your loyalty to this incredible university. You are Tulane, and Tulane is you. So you know what I'm going to say. Let's hear it. Roll wave on 3. 1, 2, 3. Roll wave. One more time. Wait. I am nothing but focused. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Roll away! Okay, all right, thank you.